and welcome to the Self Project Podcast. I'm your host, Christy Martin, and this podcast is all about the many different topics that we can experience as moms and as women, and the many different things that can affect us, or the many ways that we can heal as we're all moving along on our own personal growth journeys. And one of the things that I personally love to share and teach more about is emotional regulation. I know as a mom to 5 kids myself, there were so many times in my journey, especially being a younger mother, that I just could not handle or control my own emotions, let alone the big emotions that were coming from them as well, right? It could feel impossible sometimes not for me just to impulsively react or to yell, to just lose my shiz on them. And so throughout my years of parenting some of my high needs kids, I have really learned to hold space while navigating these emotions and also managing our own triggers and things that are coming up for us. And so I really want to bring that to you because this is really important. So we're going to be having a Managing Triggers and Emotions workshop, and I'm going to be talking about how to identify the big emotions, how to navigate the emotional outbursts, building emotional resilience, and how to use human design. Okay, we're going to be talking more about the emotional solar plexus and the different emotional waves that the defined solar plexus can experience. So if you are at all interested in that, the link is down in the show notes, or you can visit www.theselfprojectstudio.com/workshops. So I hope to see you there. And now let's go ahead and dive into our latest episode. Let's just kind of dive in. So, tell me more about you. You are an engineer who turned mental coach and energy healer. So just start with just sharing some of yours.
Yeah, how does this all happen? So for me, looking back, it is all about life. So life is in the center of all that I've done before. I started my career in medicine. I worked in clinical microbiology for a while. And then I started chemical environmental technology. And this was a project, a pilot project of co-creation between an agency, an engineer agency, a health insurance, and some doctors that were specialized in environmental healing. And we figured out that a lot of houses included toxic substances, which means, for example, in Germany, we had pesticides, or also problems with mold or other toxic substances. And people often suffered from kind of a lot of different symptoms, and normal doctors didn't know what is going on here. They couldn't find the source of the problem. And then these the patients went to a specialized doctor who was specialized in environmental health. And he could tell, okay, perhaps this could be a case that you have some substances in the house that are destroying your health. We will call this agency. And so we went into these houses, did this analysis, figured out, okay, there are these or that substances, and we did everything ending up with the renovation of these houses. So from there, I stepped into business consultancy, working in personal development and organizational transformation. And the topic was about cultural change in companies. So figuring out how a company that is very in a high hierarchy, how can this become more agile, more democratic? How can the employees be involved more and more? So we did a lot of workshops and big conferences, like open space conferences, where all the employees had the possibility to participate and show their perspective on the problem. And I started to get more and more involved, from creating workshops and conferences and doing strategic work into working with people. So doing the personal development stuff. And So I studied also economics and business coaching. So I'm also certified as a business coach. And I was kind of this normal consultant for a while, like wearing the black suit. And then for me, it was like, at the same time, I have had pets. So I had a dog and I had cats and I had horses. And I figured out when I work with my animals, I learn a lot about myself. They are reflecting me really a lot. And so I created my own little company called Pets Educating People, and worked with children that had problems, social problems, reading problems, and problems with obesity. And it was a project that was related with some schools. And we brought, for example, the dogs into the school. And for example, for this reading program, we evaluated this program, having one group that read the same book, had the same teacher, but working without the dogs, and the other one working with dogs. And these dogs were trained in a special way, so they had trick training and could do movements. And in this book, there was always a situation where the dog, for example, ate the bacon from the table or whatever. Yeah, and as soon as the child would come to this sentence, he could give the dog, for example, a treat, or ask the dog to open a package and to do some kind of tricks. And while he was reading, he could touch the dog and calm himself down. So it was a mixture of calming down and activity that was supporting the reading process. And as we figured out, the group that has a possibility to read with the dogs had a significant increase of understanding the text, being motivated, getting more competence in reading at all. So this was really massive. Also, the children that were obese and always had the feeling, oh, I can't move my body because, I'm so too fat, or people will laugh at me. The dogs were trained in agility. And this means the children could run with the dogs and or play football with the dogs. So also like having fun with the horses or the ponies. They were little horses. And so for them, there was no one telling them you can't move, because the dogs just had fun with them. And like this energy that came up, it was sometimes even hard to tell them, now the lesson is ended, we have to stop and you have to go home. So, and figuring out that these changes we did with the animals that supported the children in their personal development, this was also something I've found could be a good idea doing this with leaders. So we started to do horse-assisted leadership training. And this was also very interesting. It was like personal training, but also team training. And using the horses being a kind of a mirror for the leaders to show how they behave, what is their concept about leadership, how they do communicate, and then understanding, okay, what we have seen in the arena now, what is this compared how they treat their employees? And you could already see as soon as they step into the arena, what kind of style of leader they were. Are these the ones that think they can do everything? Or are these the ones that are more in cooperation? Or are these the ones that let it all go? Because at that moment, when the leaders stepped into the arena, the horses will react differently. And we use this for personal development, for CEOs and leading business people in different industries. So, and still I'm in the business part. And from there, I had my little company. I had 2 employees that helped me. One was also a coach and a mediator, and the other one was my assistant. So we did all this, like this leadership training and cultural change in my little consultancy. And then about 5 years ago, I had this feeling I was so in a kind of rat wheel, even though I'm a coach and I should know it better. Yeah. It was really that I was so busy. I was always on the road and working a lot of hours every day and even the weekend. I stopped doing my sports and not eating healthy. And so looking in the mirror one day, I thought, nope, this can't be the future. And I gave myself a holiday here in Madeira, where I now am living. I originally come from Germany. And I came here. I stepped out of the plane. Imagine in Germany, we had kind of minus 10 degrees, stepping out of the plane, plus 26 degrees, blue sky, an amazing energy. And this is a subtropical island. It is really an abundance of flowers and plants and all the vegetation. We grow bananas and sugarcane and oranges and papaya and everything here. It was for me like, wow, this is a place for me. And I really enjoyed being here, but okay, at that moment I had to go back to Germany, and somehow I have fallen in love with this island at first sight. So it was like, okay, I have to come here again. And then it was this feeling, why did I buy a ticket back? And so I decided, I will not buy a ticket back. And at that time, I still couldn't really go here, but it was for me clear. I made the decision. This will be the place where I want to live from now on. And so then my mother died. She suffered a lot from dementia, and my dog died. And then I had this feeling, somehow now I'm free. And so I closed my business, sold my house, sold my horses, sold my car, everything, and took my cats and my technology and a suitcase with some clothes, and decided, okay, I will stop my old life and I will go to Madeira and live here from now on. And then, I decided to give myself half a year of a sabbatical, which ended up being 1 year, to figure out, okay, what is my future? Where I do really want to go? What am I passionate about? What is my future? And feeling into myself, understanding what is really the purpose I'm feeling for myself. And this was more like, okay, I want to have a more holistic approach on what I'm doing. The business part is still there, but life is also, if you look into the wheel of life, you have all these kind of different segments, like what is about relationship, love, what is about hobbies, health, of course, business, but also like personal growth, spirituality. So there are a lot of different areas that are part of our life and that are important. And as I looked at my own wheel of life, I thought, okay, so health is, if you have in the middle, there's a 0 and at the end is a 10 in this wheel, like if you have a scale, and 0 is not at all, 10 is perfect, no change needed. I looked, okay, where am I now? And it was like, okay, health 3, hobbies I'm active in 1, and so on. And I've seen, okay, no, this is not looking good at all. And decided, okay, what is my ideal life? And I created a vision board for myself. And it still exists here on my wall. And figured out, okay, how would a life that I really adore would look like? And this meant a lot of changes. It meant that I wanted to have a balance in my life. Like, I would like to have work, of course. I like to work, but also I would like to have more free time, going to the ocean, swimming. I would like to have my meetings outdoor in a nice coffee bar at the ocean, and not in a room without windows in neon light, and having no whatever, having air condition and no fresh air inside. So like normal meeting rooms look like. And so for me, it was also, okay, I need to take care of my health, because of course I'm getting older, and the decisions you make now will have the impact on the future. So not spending time for doing sports, for eating fresh organic food will make you sick someday. Perhaps not today, but after a while. And having lots of years already doing this was really a huge thing that I said, I really need my day 1 hour for doing sport, whatever it is. So going to have a swim in the ocean. At the moment, I'm playing paddle tennis. I'm doing pole dance and Muay Thai. So different kind of things, but everything that I enjoy. And also, okay, I'm in the middle of the subtropical fruits. So of course, it's easy access to have a really fruits that have a high amount of biophotons in it that really energize the body. And so for me, it was a huge change, and also thinking, okay, what kind of work would I like to do? And so I went into becoming more this mental coach and emotional healer. And also I'm working with energies. And this is something that comes like, this is in my DNA, how to say. Yeah. So this is something that I do somehow since I'm a child, because I had a near-death experience when I was a child. And with that, I have a lot of gifts that have been there for a while, then disappeared, and have been there when my dog died again. So these kind of gifts that I'm clairvoyant and precognitive. And I also use this kind of gifts now for my business. Yeah.
That's incredible. So you didn't have those gifts before until after you had this experience?
Yeah. So I was 8 years old, and I fell in coma again and again. Sometimes I only could see black and white, but sometimes I fell in coma for 2 days, and the doctors had no idea what it was. So they said, okay, perhaps this is low blood pressure. And one day I was in coma again, and I went into the children's hospital, and I was in coma, lying on this doctor's table or bed. And I had this experience that I was looking on myself, seeing my body lying there. Doctors stick in a long needle into my spinal cord to take out some liquor, because they thought I had a meningitis. And at the same time, I had this feeling that I really want to disappear. It was so bright and peaceful. I felt this light, and I was really like, okay, I want to go there. And the next moment, I was somehow pushed back into my body. Also could see my parents outside. They were not in the room, so I was separated from them. And I was pushed back into my body, feeling this horrible pain. I woke up from my own screaming and then fell back into coma. And from this moment on, I had always this feeling of duality, like there is somehow this kind of bio body, and on the other hand, there is me, the spirit or the soul. And I had a lot of problems, like bringing them together, moving forward. It somehow happens again and again that I felt like I want to disappear again. And but with this situation, my senses opened up. So from then on, I had the ability to see beyond things. I got words out of nothing. And I didn't know what it is. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm somehow now going crazy. And I was in coma again, and I was sick. And so nobody knew what it is. So, okay, just a weird child. And only when I studied chemistry, I figured out that at that time, when I was 8 years old, my sleeping room was under the roof of the house, and the ceiling was a wooden ceiling. And my parents painted it with a color that included pesticides. So what will kill insects will also kill little children, as these were neurotoxins. And at that time, it was totally common that this kind of paint was also used inside, like the marketing was protect your wood against insects. But nobody would tell the people that this will have such an impact also on the people living inside. Yeah, this is okay for wood that is outside being in the rain or something, that it doesn't rot. Yeah. But having this inside is really, really a problem. So these neurotoxins, moved into my body from being connected to the dust, and I was breathing them in, and they increased inside of my body. And of course, after a while, made this experiences I'm just talking about. And so only when we changed the house, the problems were reduced. And when I was about 18 years old, I almost had no kind of problems anymore, or perhaps 20, or I had no problems anymore, even though it was years before it really decreased. And then somehow all the abilities I had, I don't know if I really lost them or if I forgot about them, but I had no access anymore. And only when my dog died, everything came up again. So this was a situation. My brother visited me. He normally lives in London, and we were out in the garden and doing some stuff. And I told him, my dog just called me. She has to leave me now. And he said, oh, I didn't hear her bark or anything. No, I said, she didn't bark. She sent me a picture that she has to leave me now. So I went inside of the house, seeing her lying on the sofa in the living room, eyes wide open, breathing hardly, staring at me. And again, I got this picture, I have to leave you now. And 15 minutes later, she died in my arms. And while this was happening, it was like I was kind of overwhelmed, of course, emotionally. But on the other hand, of course, because all these experiences, like, okay, there was something like being clairvoyant and this near-death experience, everything at the same time came up again. And for me to understand, okay, now that this happens again, I really need to figure out if I need to call these guys with the tight white jackets, or if it perhaps is better to understand what is going on. And so I learned a lot about the morphic field, about the Akashic records. I also participated in some remote viewing studies. And this is very interesting. So remote viewing is a method that has been used by the CIA during the Cold War, and to see or get information about Russia, about their army. And so they have trained like US soldiers to see beyond. And so this is something that people who have already some kind of ability, if they are trained, they can do this kind of stuff. So giving you an idea about such a study, it is, I was getting a code. And with this code, I had to figure out where a person was sitting and describing the place. So the code is like numbers or letters, so some kind of code. And sometimes it can also be a picture that I know, okay, I'm at the right place, I'm seeing the right person. And then I have 20 minutes to step into the morphic field, go to this place, look around, describe. So I have to write it down or to draw it, however. In this case, for example, I had to write it down and describe what I'm seeing. So, for example, I'm seeing a man sitting on a bench. He's on a hill. I can see a little village down. I can see a ruin next to him and some lawn, whatever. And then I have to send this to the study team. Then I get 4 videos, and I have to order them like this would be the one that I think is the place where the guy is, and then order them what I think what is not the place. And so you can do it to find the right one, chance 25%. And then I have to send that. So what happened was, okay, the place that I've seen on the video was the one he was sitting. The description I have given was the best one they ever had in the study. So I'm now a certified woo-woo. And yeah, so I'm sure that this is really a gift and that I'm not crazy, because otherwise it wouldn't be able to do this kind of remote viewing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have so many incredible experiences. I'm just kind of like mesmerized over here listening to you talk. I feel like you're an international spy, or that's what it feels like. So there's so much there. You've had an incredible journey, and the really cool part is each piece of the journey you've been able to bring along with you. I see where you started as your 8-year-old self, and you got sick from the toxic substances, and then you went into a career where that's what you worked with and you studied, and then went on to then work with animals. So I think that that's the coolest thing in the world, animals reflecting us. I have my own little dog, and I say it all the time. She's a reflection of me. On the days that I'm not feeling well, she'll be the exact same way. She's just really low energy. She won't be eating well. And so I always tell her, Swanette knows a little bit about human design. And I actually you can actually look up your own pet's human design, and my dog's a reflector. So I had to laugh because it means that she's really even extra reflective of my energy. So, so do you feel like, from your experience when you were 8 years old, obviously that's a traumatic experience. When we think of a medical procedure like that, when you're having a spinal tap done, I used to be a nurse. Those are incredibly, painful and invasive. I used to do them on newborn babies. Anytime a newborn baby came in with a fever, that was like immediate protocol. And I'm just thinking of, like you said, it was like you came back into the body and there was all of that pain. And so it almost seems like, that can cause a dissociative experience too, where you at that time have a really hard time coming back into the body. So, I noticed that you also have said that you long for the non-duality again, or for an experience like that again. Do you still feel like that?
Yeah, so I really have to ground myself and to be aware when my soul wants to disappear. So somehow I'm still connected to both worlds, to this 3D world, but also to the fifth dimension. And on the one hand, this is good because I have this kind of access to information about other people in my coaching, but sometimes I really need to figure out, okay, now I'm in this 3D world, I have to work here and not like going up somewhere and disappearing. No? Even if sometimes when it is stressful here, it is okay, perhaps there's another place, I just want to go there. But yeah, I still have these moments, of course. I'm not sure if they will ever disappear, but it's more easy to handle that because I now have the knowledge what is going on and how this all happened. No? It's not like something, how can I say, like a secret anymore, or something that is weird or anything like that.
That's really important. You're self-aware now of what's, like you said, what's going on surrounding the experience and what you're feeling and all of that. So are you still doing the pets educating people? Do you still work with that and have that going on at all?
No. No. As I told you, when I left Germany, I also sold my horses. So no, this is nothing I'm doing at the moment. I'm helping animals in the shelter here. I'm training them and doing healing work on them. So, but this is more as my hobby to help or the street and cats, dogs and cats here on the street. But no work or business work with pets at the moment.
Like that anymore. Just part of your journey, part of your incredible journey. So I love that I wrote down that you talked about the wheel of life. That's a process that I use with myself as well, at least every year. And then too, when I also feel like I'm feeling a little stagnant and kind of stuck, I like to refer back to it again. Like, okay, what area of life am I feeling dissatisfied with is really what it is. Do I want to make improvements with? And then I also, that plays into also deciding what's a priority for you. That was a big thing for me as well, looking at the actual physical health area of the wheel and rating myself. I had to get really honest about, like you said, I had gotten away from movement or any exercise. I'd really let my nutrition slide, all of those different things. And so I really had to get honest and say, like, is health a priority? Because I keep saying that it is, like, oh, that's a priority, but then I'm not following up with that and coming through with those actions. But it's really true that health has to be a priority because nothing else comes without it. So the career's not coming without it. The relationships don't come without it. The financial aspect of the wheel, all the other different parts can't happen without the health. So that was a really incredible kind of mindset shift that I was able to have, was looking at it from that way, that if I don't make time, like you said, for this movement every morning, make time for silence is a big practice for me. My boys, as soon as they wake up in the morning, it's like, we're moving all day and it's noisy. And so those couple hours in the morning that I have are all about that time for me to get, I call it like situated for my day, to get settled, to get into the space, to pour into myself. So, and all of that, plays into health as well. So I think that the wheel of life could be great for just looking at like all the same things. Like, what am I making a priority? What am I saying is a priority, but what am I actually making a priority? So I love that you use that as well. I would love to know. So where are we able to find you at online if somebody wants to come and follow you on social media or come and see your website?
Yeah, of course. My website is spiritual-changemaker.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Xing and all this kind of social media. You will find me with my name, Swanette Kuntze.
Awesome. So we'll find you everywhere. I'll make sure we have everything linked up in show notes. And then, so what I want to know now is if somebody was wanting to work with you, what are the ways in which you're working with people? I know that you said you're creating the one-to-one program, Healing Holidays, but do you have any other programs or anything else available to people?
Yeah, so there are different programs. I'm working one-on-one because of this situation of COVID we are still in. I'm working online on Zoom, like doing this coaching, but also people can come here to Madeira. So we are an island, a safe island. So people from Europe can come over. So this happens that, for example, this month, at the beginning of the month, client was here for 2 weeks, working one-on-one in person here while she was doing at the same time her holidays. And this was an intense coaching, but also it was different as we go out into nature. We also have mountains here, so we can do a walk and talk, enjoying nature, enjoying all the elements as well. And also I'm creating the Healing Holidays, which is that people can come here having the holidays, but getting also a retreat. So this will be 1 week in a group retreat to about different kind of topics like empowering themselves again, also creating their vision of life, understanding about their soul purpose, and releasing traumas is also a part, understanding what are the traumas someone had and what are the blocking beliefs that come with that, and how do they bring someone again and again into a loop, having the same situations in different colors, I would say. And also a part of this is the rework and reconnect, which means that people could come here working remotely for a while and at the same time reconnecting to themselves. So this is for people who say, oh, I can't stop working totally, but I would like to reduce it. And then having the healing work done here during the time. So when they come back, they have more clarity about where they want to go. They have more power doing their work. And this is also very intense, but you have the time to remote working as well. So this is what I'm offering at the moment.
That is so unique. I was just thinking, I'm going to put that on my vision board for someday. To go take a holiday, a 2-week, holiday, work remotely, but also get to reconnect with yourself. That sounds incredible. And like I said, incredibly unique because like you said, you can, just go out and go for a walk, just be in this beautiful scenery. And I think nature is so powerful in helping you reconnect back to yourself and helping to ground you and help you to just, really tap into just the beauty of being here, the beauty of just slowing down and being here.
Yeah, so what is really impressive is Madeira is a volcanoes island. So what we have is the power of fire as well as the power of water, and both combined. So we have pools here that are caves from a volcanoes eruption.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. They're not active still, right?
So not active. But you can still see all the lava that was going down and was frozen is not the right word. I don't know, but became solid. I'm sorry. I sometimes need to find the word. and you see all the lava that is solid now, but you could imagine like how it was like when it was floating down, and you can swim inside of this kind of cave. Yeah, it's really amazing. And yeah, of course, the abundance of the flowers, the colors that comes with that. And we also have some high mountains here. So in wintertime, you can go down to the beach, have a swim in the ocean. Of course, it is not like in the Caribbean island, but it's still warm enough to go into the water. And then you can go up to the highest mountain and have snow.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if you were drawn there because of the duality of it. You're talking about it's like fire and water, and then snow and mountains, and then water and ocean and beaches. And I'm like, I wonder if that's why when you went there, you're just like, I have to be here because it sounds like such an area of duality. So that's so cool. So I just have to thank you, Swanette, for being on today. I feel like I could ask you 10 million more questions, but I also know that our time has flown by. I just looked and I'm like, oh my, has it really been that long? Because I feel like we've only been talking for 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you so much for being a guest on your show today. It was really a pleasure talking with you, and I hope that your audience will enjoy a little bit of my insights and my story. And I have also a little giveaway, a free gift for your audience, which is 20-minute meditation to find your vision. And I'm happy to send you the link so that people who are interested to get to know a little bit more what their vision is and the mission for this life, that they can listen to that and follow the meditation and get an idea about that.
Oh, I would love that. Swanette, it has been a pleasure to have you on the show. I just have to say thank you again for being here and for giving us more of your time today to come and share. Thank you for listening to the Self Project Podcast. Make sure that you scroll down and you check out the show notes so you can connect with our awesome guests from today, and also come over and follow me on Instagram at _Christy Martin to see more of what I've got going on. Make sure that you subscribe to the show so that you can get regular updates, and I will see you next time.